Hello everyone, my name is Chris. I am a developer for a game that's being developed right now called Blackout. Without going into too much detail about it, it is a game based around survival horror, it's co-op, but at the same time, you'll be competing with other groups that are spread throughout a space station. Now, the game's not just limited to a space station. We're going to have things on the surface of planets, asteroids, mining bases, all sorts of different things. So what we're trying to do right now, this stage in development, is creating all the systems that will run the environments in the game. So what you see right now is, of course, the editor view. And it's very basic, just some square rooms. But what it's showing is room volumes. Now, room volumes are really important because basically what they do is they represent the area that's considered secluded from the rest. So if I had a door here, this room would be completely sealed, without, of course, this roof, which you should probably just ignore, but that would be there normally. So you use this to represent a space in the game. Now, what this space has are a bunch of parameters. Now, these are the initial parameters we'll have, and this list will be increasing in the future. But we have temperature, pressure, radiation, and then the most obvious one is gravity. This number can be changed to pretty much anything you want. I mean, it's not just limited to 10 to negative 10, but I can't realistically see it going anywhere beyond that. So, if we can have individual parameters per room, we can do other cool things. Like if we have a door here, we have lots of pressure in this room, none in this hallway here, and then this door opens. Well, all these objects will be sucked into this room due to depressurization, or rather the other way around. I'm not sure which way I said it. The other thing is, this is important when we're talking about the difference between inside and outside in space. If you take an airlock and open it up, you'd want something to get sucked down to space and then to be weightless once you're out in space. So we are individually applying all these parameters to the objects. And of course, along with those parameters, we have issues that we have to deal with efficiency, since we can't be doing all of these calculations on every object at once. And that's something else that we've actually already addressed for the most part. So, I'm going to show, I guess, these systems in action for you really quick. So, this room is just a bunch of cubes with rigid bodies on them. Nothing complicated. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play the scene, and I want you to watch down here. This is the first interesting aspect. This is active physics objects. And that counter will show you how many objects are being calculated at once. This is something that will never happen, what you're seeing here, because at the start of a map, everything should be at rest. They shouldn't be stacked up like this, but it doesn't matter. Let's watch. Okay. Now, as you can see, as everything came to rest, we've got 0 on everything. Okay, so nothing is being calculated right now. These are all frozen in space. Okay, so what we're seeing in this room, let's take a look at this single cube here. If you look over here, we have something that's called physics movable. These are all the aspects, all the parameters that are being applied to the cube. So we have gravity. Now, this 1 refers to g's. So for every 1 g, you have a force of negative 9.81 toward whatever surface this is, the bottom surface. So if I move this up, and it's freaking out because that's what Unity does, I'm going to move it up there, paused it. Okay. So now I'm going to unpause it and watch the force value, negative 9.81. Now, it also tells you right here the location. Square test is the name of this room, if you recall from before. Now I'm going to take this cube, and I'm going to move it into the hallway. Now, watch what happens. Hallway. Now, if I move it up, watch the force. Negative 4.95, I believe, 905. This room here has 0.5 g's. Now, let's show another example. This time, I'm going to go into space. Actually, before I do that, this is kind of showing off more in this active objects thing, but take a look. So, I have this base cube, and I'm just going to move it. And watch what happens to that active physics objects number. It goes up. And as soon as everything stops moving, well, back down to 0. So this way, we won't ever be doing more calculations than we have to. If something's moving, then yeah, we have to figure out what it's doing, obviously. But otherwise, it's great. We're basically dropping our calculations down. I mean, not completely zero, but pretty damn close. Just some other playing around. Okay, so I'm going to take this cube. Actually, I'm going to take a couple cubes really quick so I can show this off a little more. Just slide them across the floor. That's not going to work in Unity. I got to pause it first. Okay, move it out in this hallway. Actually, I'm going to move it out into space. Into space. Okay. So, now, this cube, if you'd noticed, should normally have fallen onto its face. However, in space, we have 0 gravity. Also, right here you can see location, space. So, what I'm going to do, and I can actually move these around now because Unity isn't trying to apply a constant force, I'm going to show you what happens when this thing breaches into another volume. Now, to do that, I, of course, have to move this cube really quick. Okay. Alright, watch this. Bash it in there. Okay. This is actually probably moving a little too slow. We'll see. Okay, once it hits, and there it is in the volume. Drop down. I'm going to hit this with this right here. Random sphere. Peg down. And this one's in space too, so it's just floating away. And we are in. So, as you can see with this system, what we'd probably have happen is, let's say this airlock, there's an airlock right here, it goes directly into space. As soon as that airlock's opened, you can swap this over to 0 gravity, and then everything would then become exactly as it should be. And float around, all that other stuff. Okay, actually, one more thing. I was going to end it. I'm going to switch over to player view and show you how this applies to the player as well, because it does, in fact, do that. So this is just a simple capsule character, just jumping around some stuff. So I want you to observe one thing, and actually I'm going to show you the body, which should have a character controller. Okay, gravity. This is the important thing to look at, because this is the main thing that's being applied right now. This gravity, actually it might not update if I have that highlighted. Okay. So, right now I have a value of 1. So I jump pretty much the normal height that a person would jump in an environment. Now I'm going to come into this hallway. Now if you can see right here, present room is hallway, and we have a gravity of 0.5. Now if I jump, we go about twice the height as before. So, bump, and then bump. Now, actually, this room down here has got even less gravity, and the gravity is so low, in fact, that I will actually just fly out the top and keep going. I'll hit space. But as you can see, I'm in other room, and gravity is 0.25. And there I go, floating away. Gravity is 0, and present room is space. Okay, guys, I think that's all that I'll be talking about today. Thanks for watching. And please be sure to visit our site. You can see the link in the description.